You are now listening to the Palm Pod, brought to you by RSPO, a global partnership for sustainable palm oil.
Hi, I am Fara Rom, and you're listening to the third episode of the Palm Pod, where we host engaging discussions, expert insights, and industry updates on sustainable palm oil, guiding consumers and businesses to make better choices for the planet. In this episode, we'll dive into the world of smallholders and their role in sustainable palm oil production. Being responsible for 40% of production of the world's palm oil, smallholders face unique challenges and opportunities in their journey towards sustainability. We'll explore the landscape of certifications, market demands, and partnerships with governments and businesses, all while striving to adopt environmentally responsible practices. Join us as we uncover the essential contributions smallholders make to the palm oil industry and the crucial support they need for a more sustainable future. Speaking to us today is Francisco Naranjo, Director of Technical and Smallholder in RSPO. Welcome, Francisco.
Thank you, Fara. Thank you for having me on the Palm Pod.
Great. I'm so excited for us to discuss on smallholders. And to start, can you, in short, share with the audience about yourself and your involvement in the sustainable palm oil sector, particularly your work on smallholders?
Yes, thank you, Farah. I'm from Ecuador, and I've been working in the palm oil industry for about 15 to 20 years. I'm a civil engineer. I graduated many years ago. Just to give you an idea, when I finished the university, that was the same year that the first Earth Summit in Rio. So that gives you an idea of my age. And at that time, the term sustainability was not even a word. I mean, it was just being born. But later I started my master's in environmental management. I did a master's in environmental management. And since then, I've been working in sustainability, especially in the palm oil industry. I joined the RSPO in 2014. But before that, I was executive director of the National Association of Oil Palm Growers in Ecuador, ANCUPA. And I got involved in the palm oil world maybe around 2008 to 2009, when with a good friend of mine, we started a project with two objectives. First, a forest conservation project, and second, developing an oil palm plantation. So it's an interesting mix. This private initiative is still going on and has been, I would say, very successful, because today we have still 200 hectares of well-preserved secondary forests under private conservation, and also 50 hectares oil palm plantation. And this plantation provides the resources needed to protect the forest. So I think it's an interesting exercise, and that has allowed me to see firsthand the challenges that smallholders face day to day, and also how difficult it is to protect a forest, how challenging it is to protect a forest. So it's been an interesting initiative over these years. I hope that this is enough.
That's a really great start, and I feel like you're such a great person to talk to, because you are wearing two hats at the same time. You are overlooking a lot of the strategies for smallholders in RSPO, but you are also considered as a smallholder. So I think we can go through what is RSPO smallholder strategy, and I think part of the smallholder strategy includes livelihoods. Livelihoods is one of the biggest chapter, I can say, on smallholder support work that RSPO is doing. So improving smallholder livelihoods is one of the main objectives of the RSPO smallholder strategy, and alongside market access and certification. So I think we want you to share how can collaboration between businesses, governments, and NGOs support to uplift smallholders?
Yes, you're right. Improving smallholder livelihood is the first and foremost objective of what we call the RSPO smallholder strategy. Maybe for a little bit of a background for those who are not aware, RSPO developed the smallholder strategy in 2017, and it is, I would say, a roadmap for smallholder inclusion and for improving farmers' livelihoods. So throughout these years of working with the smallholders and implementing the smallholder strategy, I'm convinced that improving smallholders' livelihood can be achieved through two main approaches, maybe more, but at least two main work streams. The first is supporting the smallholders to adopt the best agricultural practices in their farms by training them, by giving them technical support to implement the best sustainability practices, the best management practices, which in turn will result in better yields and, of course, higher income for smallholders. So that's one approach. And the second approach is by providing smallholders with, I would say, the economic resources that they need to implement those best management practices, those best agricultural practices. But coming back to your question, yes, the only way to enhance smallholder inclusion and help smallholders to improve their livelihoods is through collaboration of multiple stakeholders, key stakeholders. Definitely collaboration is the cornerstone of smallholder support. And this is because everyone has a role to play in supporting the smallholders. And when I say everyone, I mean every key actor in the palm oil supply chain, ranging from large multinationals, corporate companies, those who use palm oil in their products. They have an important role to play in ensuring that their sustainability, for example, sustainability practices, don't leave smallholders behind. But NGOs, social and environmental NGOs, also have an important role to play in raising awareness. For instance, local governments and national governments play an important role in shaping policies. They need to ensure that their policies don't left the smallholders behind. Banks, investors with green financing. So what I'm trying to say is that everybody has an important role to play in, to support the smallholder inclusion. And so that's the keyword, collaboration, definitely.
Great. And this is enabled by the creation of the RSPO as well, especially in the palm oil sector. So can you briefly share what is the role of RSPO in promoting smallholder inclusions and improving their livelihoods?
Yes, RSPO plays a crucial role, as RSPO is by far the main convener of the sustainable palm oil industry. I'm not overextending when I say overstating that when I say that RSPO is the main convener. RSPO has more than 6,000 members worldwide, and the key players who have the power to drive the structural change needed to make the palm oil industry more sustainable. All of them are already part of the RSPO's membership. So the RSPO initiative has been extremely successful in bringing together the key actors, key players needed to drive sustainability in this industry. So that is, I would say, one of the important roles that RSPO plays. There are many others, but for instance, RSPO is a certification scheme, and we have developed a standard for independent smallholders, together with the tools and incentives for suitable for smallholders. But this role of bringing together the key actors, I think, is one of the important roles that RSPO plays. But I want to say that collaboration alone is not enough. We need all of these actors, that is for sure. Business, governments, NGOs, but we need them to fully commit to transforming this industry towards something more sustainable. And these commitments need to be transparent, and also they have to remain accountable. So collaboration is not enough. What I'm trying to say is that I believe collaboration is important, but that must come together with transparency, accountability, and long-term commitment. And that is the small challenge that we have at RSPO.
And I think it's quite interesting if you look at sustainability and also including small farmers, smallholders. And I'm just wondering, to your knowledge, is there many organizations or any certification bodies that has a similar scheme with RSPO in terms of palm oil in the sustainability sector in general? Just to your knowledge, is there any such thing, or RSPO is like one of the few that actually does have a strategy for smallholders to uplift them as a whole, profit base, livelihood, and other aspects?
I mean, being part of RSPO, I tend to think that RSPO is by far the most important initiative, but definitely we need to find the right partners, the right stakeholders to work with. I'm sure there are plenty of good initiatives out there to support the smallholders, aiming to support the smallholders. And I truly believe that if we want to scale up our impact, the RSPO impact in terms of smallholder inclusion, smallholder certification, definitely we need to strengthen our collaboration with governments, for example, with NGOs, with supply chain members, with buyers, with the market in general. So I think it's our main mission to find those partnerships. Actually, that's why our mission is a partnership to make palm oil sustainable. I'm sure there are plenty of initiatives, and RSPO is one of them. But of course, being in this industry and being part of RSPO, I feel that RSPO has an immense power in its membership to drive those changes that to make this industry more sustainable.
Through the smallholder strategy, there are several initiatives under RSPO, or what the ones that RSPO has implemented so far, in terms of improving smallholder livelihoods. Can you share some of the initiatives with the audience?
Sure. Yeah, there are many initiatives that RSPO is currently undertaking to improve smallholder livelihoods. All of them, to some extent, stem from the implementation of the RSPO smallholder strategy. Each of them contributes from a different angle and from a different perspective. For instance, one of the flagship initiatives is the Smallholder Trainer Academy, or the STA in short. This trainer academy aims to improve smallholder livelihoods by building their internal capacities, building smallholder capacities. And we do this through high quality training programs focused on how implementing best agricultural practices results in higher yields and in higher incomes for smallholders. So that's one of the initiatives that the STA was launched in 2019, and it has a multi-level approach where RSPO works in partnership with academy partners to deliver training and training to smallholders, training to group managers, and what we call master trainers. So the academy has more than 90 academy partners across the globe, and more than 250 master trainers currently. So, and through this pool of partners and master trainers, the academy has trained tens of thousands of smallholders in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Africa, Latin America, and also in India. So that's one of the initiatives, the programs that RSPO is carrying out right now. Another interesting initiative and a very helpful tool to enhance smallholder inclusion has been the RSSF, or RSSF stands for the RSPO Smallholder Support Fund. That was established in 2013, and it aims to provide financial support to smallholder groups, and these groups can use the resources from the fund for many things like capacity building programs. The fund can be used to cover the audit costs, and the fund could also be applied, for example, to strengthen internal capacities. So the RSSF has been very instrumental in supporting the smallholder inclusion, in supporting the smallholder certification, and just to give you an idea, since its inception, the RSSF has benefited more than 30,000 smallholders. But the main mechanism that RSPO has developed to provide the smallholders with a higher income has been, without any doubt, the RSPO credits. So let me explain how the RSPO credits work, what the RSPO credits are. When a group of smallholders achieves RSPO certification, basically they have two options. One is to sell their certified FFB, the certified fresh fruit bunches, to a certified meal, and they sell the FFBs, the certified FFB, at an additional premium most of the time. Or they can convert those volumes, those certified volumes, into what we call RSPO credits, especially when they don't have in the vicinity a certified meal to sell, to buy their the certified FFPs. They can convert the volumes into credits. And this conversion is very simple. 1 ton of sustainable palm oil produced in a sustainable way equals 1 RSPO credits. So credits can be purchased by palm oil end users, those who want to support the smallholder groups, and this is handing smallholder groups directly with financial resources from the end users. So last year alone, certified smallholder groups received over $7 million from the sales of RSPO credits, and this year we expect this figure to go up to maybe 10 million in 2024. So it's been a very successful mechanism to financially support the smallholders.
So the sale of our RSPO credits actually benefits directly towards the smallholder itself. And I believe from some of my experience also visiting some plantations in Indonesia, and they actually mentioned how RSPO credits have changed the lives of many, and not just people who work in the plantations, it's even the community themselves. So with that, when you mentioned about certification and credits, so from your point of view, what is currently missing from the system that can help boost smallholder inclusion even more in the sustainable palm oil production?
As I mentioned at the start of our conversation, I believe that what is really needed is greater involvement from key stakeholders. Smallholders need much more support, especially to overcome the initial barriers to certification. And we have seen that with strong backing from buyers, from governments, from NGOs, progress can be made very quickly. But without that support, it's difficult for them to break those, overcome those barriers, especially those initial barriers for certification. And so RSPO has done, I would say, its part by creating the necessary conditions through the smallholder standard, through the smallholder trainer academy, the RSSF fund, and the other programs that RSPO is currently undertaking. But I think more involvement is needed, especially from those downstream players. Because I think smallholders cannot bear the full weight of sustainability on their shoulders. I mean, is not, I would say, is not fair. So everyone should do their part to ensure that palm oil is more sustainable. And this is what the so-called sustainability justice is all about, right? So I would say the missing part is enhancing more involvement from downstream players.
Okay, you mentioned about sustainability justice. Can you elaborate further? What does that mean? And how does the concept of sustainability justice apply to palm oil smallholders? And why is it important for their long-term success?
Yes, it's interesting because it's now becoming more and more popular to talk about sustainability justice. And it's a combination of the three pillars of sustainability, environment, society, and economy, or people, planet, and prosperity. Combining these three pillars with a justice-based intersectional approach. And basically, it is about ensuring that a fair distribution of both benefits and responsibilities. Again, this means everyone, all the stakeholders, from smallholders to large multinationals, from NGOs to supply chain members, from governments to processors, traders, everyone needs to step up and do their part, do their fair share. So that is, in a nutshell, what this concept of sustainability justice is. But let me put my hat of my smallholder hat for a moment. I've been, I would say, in a privileged situation of having the financial resources. And most importantly, the access to knowledge to establish my oil palm plantation in Ecuador. But I have seen firsthand that the immense effort and commitment that the smallholders put into getting certified, implementing the best agricultural practices, understanding what sustainability means. And we could move much faster with more support and more commitment from other stakeholders, especially those downstream players, and I would say together with governments and NGOs. So again, collaboration is important here, even to underpin this concept of sustainability justice.
Great. Going back to certification, it was mentioned that smallholder certification is growing rapidly over the years. Can you give us an overview of the progress and share any relevant numbers?
Sure. Yeah, that's one of the most interesting parts. The number of for smallholder certification are really encouraging. Last year alone, the area of certified under the independent smallholder standard grew by around 36%. So it's a huge jump. We passed from 100,000 hectares to 100 and almost 140 hectares certified against the independent smallholder standard, which is a huge growth. Right now, we are nearing 180,000 certified smallholders. But the most important or the most exciting part is the trend of certification. We expect that this trend of this growing trend of certification will continue in the upcoming years. So in the next at least 5 years, in the horizon of 5 years, we are confident that this trend will continue. And if we continue, for example, this year we are expecting to grow at least at 30% again, or above 30% again. And with this growth, the goal of certifying 1 million smallholders in the medium term feel very much within reach. I mean, it's not easy, but we are in the right pathway. So yes, those are the figures. Very strong growth, and we have a lot of groups in the pipeline, smallholder groups in the pipeline in countries like Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia. We have seen some groups, some progress starting in Africa, in Latin America. So yes, this is perhaps the most daunting challenge that RSPO has, but we are going in the right direction.
I think we are reaching the end of our discussion, and I feel like there's a lot more to discuss because smallholders are a very interesting topic to talk about, especially because many are not aware on how important is palm oil sector for smallholders. And as you mentioned, there are almost 7 million smallholders that is involved in the sector, and to empower them and to make sure that their stories are heard are really important and they should be supported. So you can summarize in a few words on what needs to be done for smallholder inclusion to prosper, for smallholders to get more attention, and for smallholders to win the game in sustainable palm oil production and the palm oil sector in general, and not just be the forgotten 40%.
Yes, stress two figures that I think it's important to keep in mind. One is that 40% of the planted area with oil palm globally is managed by smallholders, by family farmers. And you correctly mentioned that there are more than 7 million smallholders across the globe. So if we left them behind, there's no way to make a palm oil industry more sustainable. So it's mandatory. It's of the utmost importance to ensure that they are included and they are part. And the smallholder inclusion is perhaps the most important important step in transforming the palm oil industry in something more sustainable. So, and as we have discussed today, it's all about collaboration, it's all about involvement. So definitely I would like to finish by making a call to action for other actors in the supply chain, especially downstream players, but also big buyers and market players, governments, NGOs, to step up, to do their fair share, to ensure that palm oil coming from 7 million smallholders worldwide becomes more sustainable. That is what is needed right now, and I see this is something achievable only with the full commitment and full collaboration with all kinds of stakeholders.
That's great. And I believe that wraps up this episode on the mighty 40% smallholder. With strengthened partnerships between governments, businesses, and sustainability organizations, the future holds promising shifts. Programs like RSPO certification can open doors for smallholders, helping them gain recognition, access new markets, and improve livelihoods. Thanks for tuning in, and let's keep the conversation going. I was speaking to our guest, Francisco Naranjo, Director, Technical and Smallholder from RSPO. I am Fara Rom, and this is the Palm Pod.